Why is it that some families always seem to have money flowing effortlessly into their homes, even though they are not constantly working hard or making risky investments? The secret lies in something most people have never even heard of. It is not a hidden bank account. It is not a company quietly raking in massive profits. Instead, it is a simple feng shui object, often placed in a bedroom or a small private space. This item is considered a true wealth magnet, keeping the flow of prosperity constantly moving. For hundreds of years, wealthy families have quietly used it to maintain their abundance, and today, you are going to learn exactly how it works. But before I reveal it, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you never miss out on other powerful feng shui secrets, and leave a comment below with this affirmation: I am opening the door to wealth and welcoming prosperity into my life. That will be your first step toward connecting with the abundant energy waiting to flow into your world. So what is this mysterious object that wealthy families have guarded so carefully for generations? It is something known as a feng shui money jar, often referred to in Eastern culture as a celadon jar, the ancient green-glazed jar. It may sound simple, but in feng shui this jar is a powerful symbol of prosperity and lasting wealth. Think of your home as a living body. If money is the bloodstream, this jar acts as the heart that keeps the flow going strong. It is like an invisible treasure chest, capable of attracting and retaining the energy of wealth. That is why many wealthy families treat this jar as their secret bank, hidden right inside their home. There are many types of jars on the market: white porcelain, colorful ceramic, even jade jars. But in feng shui, the ancient green-glazed celadon jar is considered the most powerful choice. Its jade green color not only brings a sense of peace, but also symbolizes growth, abundance, and long-term stability. That is why since ancient times, the color green has been linked to wealth and prosperity. Here is what makes this even more fascinating. You do not need something expensive. A celadon jar can easily be found online or in any feng shui store. The value does not come from the price tag. It comes from the energy it represents. When you choose the right jar, you are opening a doorway that invites the flow of wealth energy into your home. Discovering that the secret lies in the ancient celadon jar is a crucial first step. But if you want this jar to truly become a powerful feng shui treasure, you need to choose it correctly. Just like you would never pick a broken, flimsy, or undersized safe to store your money, the same logic applies to selecting your wealth jar. The right choice determines whether or not it can actually attract and retain financial energy. 1. Size. Not too small, and the sturdier, the better. One of the most important factors when choosing a feng shui jar is its size. In feng shui, the jar acts like an energetic safe. If the safe is too small, it simply cannot hold much wealth. Likewise, a tiny jar symbolizes limitation and scarcity, not abundance. The ideal height for a celadon jar is usually between 15 to 20 centimeters, or about 6 to 8 inches. This size is perfect for placing in a bedroom or a small room, and still large enough to represent the ability to hold substantial prosperity. If you prefer, you can certainly go bigger. The more spacious the jar, the greater its capacity to attract and contain wealth energy. Imagine this: you own a wallet. If the wallet is too small, you can only carry a few coins. But if it is more spacious, you can hold cash, cards, and other valuables. The jar works the same way. A wide and sturdy jar sends the message to the universe that you are ready to welcome more abundance into your life. 2. Shape. Full, rounded, and abundant. When it comes to a feng shui jar, shape matters just as much as size. A jar might look beautiful, but if its form is not energetically aligned, it will not be able to hold prosperity energy properly. In feng shui, a round shape is the ultimate symbol of fullness, completeness, and continuous abundance. That is why jars with a rounded body, a wide belly, and a gently narrowed mouth are considered the most ideal. This shape represents the idea that wealth and energy can easily flow in. but once inside, they are kept safely and are not allowed to escape. On the other hand, a jar that is too narrow, tall, or angular makes the energy unstable. It is like forcing a stream of water through a narrow crack. Rather than being stored, the energy rushes away. The surface of the jar should also be smooth and flawless, with no bumps or defects. A sleek surface represents an uninterrupted flow of prosperity, free from resistance or blockages. When you look at the jar, you should feel a sense of softness, fullness, and solidity. This is a visual cue that the jar is energetically aligned with abundance. Remember, a rounded, full-bodied shape is not just visually pleasing, it is the key to transforming the jar into a true symbol of long-term wealth. 3. Color, the power of jade. Green. You may have never paid attention to this, but the color of the jar plays a major role in its feng shui strength. Among many possible colors, there is only one that is considered the golden key to attracting wealth: the jade green of the traditional celadon glaze. Jade green is deeply connected to nature, the color of young leaves reaching toward the sun, of clear waters, of life constantly renewing itself. In feng shui, this shade represents growth, abundance, and long-term stability. When you look at it, you feel peace, like being surrounded by a lush garden filled with fresh, vibrant energy. Unlike colors like red or gold, which often represent explosive growth but tend to fade quickly, jade green brings stable, long-lasting prosperity. It nurtures your wealth in a natural, steady way, like a river that flows endlessly without interruption. That is why for centuries, wealthy families throughout the East have chosen celadon jars over other colored containers. A simple but pure jade green jar is a powerful tool for both attracting and holding on to prosperity in your home. 4. Avoiding common mistakes. When choosing a jar, many people focus only on the appearance of a feng shui jar and overlook the small details that can completely strip it of its power. If you want your jar to truly work as an energy treasure, you must avoid these common mistakes. The biggest mistake is choosing a jar with cracks or holes. In feng shui, this is the equivalent of using a torn wallet. Money and energy will leak out instead of being stored and multiplied. Next, many people are drawn to jars with intricate designs or excessive decorative patterns. While they may look visually appealing, overly complex motifs can scatter the energy, preventing it from concentrating and flowing smoothly into prosperity. Another mistake is selecting a jar that is far too small. A tiny jar only symbolizes limitation and lack. It does not represent abundance or the ability to accumulate and nurture wealth. Finally, avoid overly bright or flashy colors like bright red, shiny black, or gold. These may be suitable for decoration, but they are not aligned with the energy needed for a true wealth jar in feng shui. Always remember, the best jar is simple, smooth, full-bodied, and naturally jade green. Simple yet powerful. That is the secret to creating a space where wealth energy can gather and grow over time. 5. Do not worry about the price. One of the most common concerns people have when looking for a feng shui jar is the price. Many assume that only expensive jars can bring results. But the truth is, in feng shui, the power of the jar does not come from how much you paid for it. It comes from the energy it holds and what it represents. You do not need to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on a special jar. As long as it is a traditional celadon jar with a rounded shape, smooth surface, no cracks or damage, and that signature jade green glaze, it can serve its purpose. Even a jar purchased for a very affordable price from a feng shui shop or online can become a true treasure for holding wealth. What matters most is that you choose it with trust and intuition. When you place your hand on the jar and feel a sense of peace, certainty, and confidence, that is your sign that it is the right one for you. That energetic connection is what gives the jar its real power. So do not let price be the thing that holds you back. A simple, affordable jar that meets the feng shui standards can absolutely become a symbol of lasting prosperity in your home. 6. Trust your intuition. When choosing, sometimes, the best way to know if a jar is right for you is not based on price, color, or size, but simply on how it feels. Intuition is a key principle in feng shui because energy is not just about objects, it is about the connection between you and the object. When shopping for your jar, take a moment to gently place your hand on its surface. If you feel calm, grounded, and confident that this is the one, it probably is. If you feel hesitant, uncomfortable, or like something is off, trust that feeling and keep looking. Many people have shared that the moment they saw their first celadon jar, they felt an instant connection, as if the jar had been waiting for them. That feeling is not a coincidence. It is a sign that your energy and the jar's energy are aligned. Always remember, feng shui is not just about strict rules. It is about harmony between your mind, energy, and the item you choose. When you listen to your intuition and trust your decision, the jar will naturally activate its power and become a true source of abundance in your home. Choosing the right celadon jar is not just a shopping decision, it is the foundation for activating the flow of wealth in your space. A jar that is large enough, round and full in shape, naturally jade green, with no cracks, and free of busy patterns. That is what turns a simple object into a powerful feng shui tool. You do not need luxury or extravagance. What you need is a jar that is energetically aligned with you. When you choose with both reason and intuition, the jar becomes a symbol of sustainable, growing wealth. And once you have it in your hands, the next step is just as important: placing it in the right location within your home, where it can fully unleash its power to preserve and multiply your financial fortune. Once you have chosen the right celadon jar, the next step that determines its true effectiveness is where you place it inside your home. Many people assume they can just put the jar anywhere. As long as it is in the house, it should work. But in feng shui, location is everything. It is just like using an antenna. If it is facing the right direction, it picks up the strongest signal. But if you point it the wrong way, you get nothing. The same principle applies to your feng shui jar. 1. Why is placement so important? A celadon jar only unleashes its power when it is placed in the right location within your home. If placed incorrectly, it may look beautiful, but it will function as nothing more than a decorative item. In feng shui, placement is like the soil in which you plant a seed. Even the best seed will struggle to grow in dry, barren soil, but when planted in the right spot, the same seed flourishes. The jar works the same way. It becomes an energy reservoir where prosperity can gather and grow. Your home is constantly moving with invisible energy currents. Some areas are calm and stable, like a peaceful lake, while others experience fast-moving, chaotic energy, like a rushing waterfall. If the jar is placed in an area where the energy flows smoothly, it will collect and amplify abundance. But if placed where energy tends to leak, wealth will have no place to settle. That is why choosing the right placement is just as important as choosing the jar itself. When you find the ideal location, you are not just storing wealth, you are creating an energetic doorway that invites prosperity in and encourages it to stay. 2. The east direction, where the sun rises and prosperity begins. In feng shui, the east is one of the most powerful directions. It is where the sun rises, bringing light to chase away darkness. East symbolizes new beginnings, vitality, growth, and sustainable abundance. When you place your celadon jar in the eastern part of your home, you are connecting it with the rebirthing energy of the universe. Picture the morning sun rising in the east. Trees begin to stretch, birds start singing, and nature awakens. Placing your jar in the east is like letting your wealth wake up with the sunrise every day, always renewed, always filled with hope. Beyond wealth, the east is also linked to health and family harmony. This means the jar not only attracts money, but also nourishes positive energy for the entire household. That is why feng shui masters often describe the East as a gateway to long-term happiness and prosperity. 3. Bedroom and small private rooms, quiet spaces where energy can settle. The space you choose to place your celadon jar has a huge impact on how well it performs. Among all the rooms in your home, the bedroom and small, rarely used rooms are seen as the most ideal. Your bedroom is not just where you sleep, it is where your mind and body restore. It is a quiet, personal space, shielded from the chaotic energies of the outside world. When the jar is placed here, it blends into your personal energy field, acting as a silent guardian, protecting your well-being and quietly multiplying your abundance. Small, unused rooms also work well for the same reason. They are undisturbed, allowing energy to settle and gather naturally. When the jar is placed in one of these areas, it can do its work uninterrupted, quietly attracting and holding wealth energy over time. Placing the jar in these spaces is not just about storage. It is about creating the right environment for wealth energy to be nurtured and grow on its own. 4. The hidden secret in your closet, the safest place to store wealth. There is one place in the home that is often overlooked, yet it is considered a secret feng shui safe, and that place is the closet. Many wealthy families have used this space to store wealth-attracting items, and the reason is simple: privacy. Your closet is a private space, one that few people notice or access. When you place your celadon jar there, it is protected from curious eyes, much like a hidden treasure that only you know about. In feng shui, there is a saying, "Money that is shown is money that disappears." So keeping the jar hidden is a smart way to let your wealth gather and grow without being scattered. Even more importantly, when the jar is surrounded by your clothes and personal items, the energy inside it becomes more connected to you. It creates a deeper bond between the wealth energy and its owner, making the prosperity you attract more stable and lasting. Putting your jar in the closet is not just a safe storage choice. It is a clever feng shui strategy to ensure your wealth energy stays inside your home and continues to grow. 5. Places you should absolutely avoid. Not every corner of the house is suitable for placing your celadon wealth jar. If placed in the wrong spot, the jar could actually weaken the positive energy in your home instead of enhancing it. The worst places to put your jar are the bathroom or toilet. These are areas associated with water flowing out, which, in feng shui, symbolizes loss. Putting the jar there is like letting your money slip right through your fingers. Other places to avoid include damp, dark, or foul-smelling areas. These environments weaken the jar's ability to store and attract positive energy. Placing the jar in a very exposed area, such as the living room or near the main entrance, is also a mistake. When your jar is out in the open, it easily draws unwanted attention, which makes it harder for wealth to stay. Additionally, if the area around the jar is messy or cluttered, it blocks the financial energy and prevents it from circulating naturally. Understanding what places to avoid is just as important as knowing where to place it. This knowledge helps ensure that your jar can truly do its job, nurturing prosperity in a quiet and sustainable way. 6. Feel the shift when it is in the right place. Some changes cannot be seen with the eyes, but they can absolutely be felt. When your celadon jar is placed in the right location, the energy in your home begins to shift in subtle yet powerful ways. Many people report that the atmosphere in their room becomes more calming, their sleep deeper, and their minds less anxious after placing the jar. Others have noticed unexpected opportunities showing up, an ideal job offer, a surprise financial gain, or even new relationships that open the door to better things. This is not magic happening overnight. It is the natural result of creating a space where wealth energy can live, grow, and thrive. Just like a seed planted in fertile soil, the energy of the jar grows quietly over time, bringing you prosperity and peace in ways you may not expect, but will absolutely feel. Placement is the key. No matter how beautiful or perfectly chosen your celadon jar is, if you place it in the wrong spot, it will not serve its purpose. But when you place it in the east, in a bedroom, a quiet private room, or especially inside a discreet closet, it becomes an invisible safe, silently attracting and preserving wealth for your family. And in the next part, we are going to explore something extremely important. What should you place inside the jar to activate its full feng shui power? Your celadon wealth jar cannot become a true feng shui treasure if it is empty. What you place inside represents your intention to attract and hold abundance. This is not just a physical action. It is a way to send a clear message to the universe that you are ready to receive and keep wealth in your life. The first thing you should place in your jar is cash. Money is the most direct symbol of prosperity, and it represents the constant flow of financial energy. When you put money into your jar, you are nourishing a continuous current, like a small stream that never stops flowing. You do not need to put in a large amount at the beginning, but avoid filling the jar with just coins, as they symbolize scarcity. Instead, use medium or high denomination bills, as they carry a message of abundance and strength. Some people even choose to place a portion of their paycheck inside the jar as a form of feng shui savings, a symbolic way to remind themselves that wealth is being gathered and protected. Along with money, you can also add gold or other precious metals. Gold holds a stable, grounding energy. Historically, it has always retained value and has been seen as a symbol of permanence and power. Just a few small pieces, such as a gold ring or bracelet, are enough to anchor long-term wealth. When placed inside the jar, gold not only holds value, but protects your financial flow from loss. Another essential element is a layer of clean sea salt at the bottom of the jar. Salt symbolizes purity and has the ability to cleanse and shield against negative energy. It acts like an invisible barrier, keeping everything inside the jar safe and energetically stable. Though inexpensive, salt plays a crucial role in preserving the jar's power. You may also add white rice or seeds. Rice is a universal symbol of nourishment and abundance, while seeds represent growth and expansion. Placing these items inside is like planting the belief that wealth and good fortune will not only stay with you, but multiply. Feng shui coins are another popular addition. With their round shape and square hole in the center, they represent harmony between heaven and earth. You can place 3 or 9 coins tied together with a red string. Both are lucky numbers that amplify the jar's energy and enhance wealth attraction. A modern yet powerful touch is to include a positive affirmation written on a small piece of paper. Sentences like, "I always have more than enough," or "Prosperity flows to me every day," serve as reminders to align your mind with abundance. When your beliefs are paired with these symbolic items, the effect becomes exponentially more powerful. Once your jar is filled, make sure to cover it with a lid. This is not only to protect the contents, but in feng shui, it also serves to seal the energy inside, keeping it intact and undisturbed. And most importantly, keep your jar discreet. Do not show it off to everyone. In feng shui, the less exposed your wealth is, the more stable it becomes. Finally, treat adding to your jar as a nurturing ritual. From time to time, drop in a new bill, a coin, or a fresh affirmation. Each time you do this, imagine you are planting a seed in your personal field of prosperity. Over time, the jar becomes your invisible treasure chest, quietly attracting and guarding abundance for you and your family. Some of the smallest secrets hold the power to transform your destiny. The ancient celadon jar is one of those secrets. When placed correctly in your home, it does more than hold wealth. It opens the door for prosperity to flow endlessly into your life. It becomes a silent companion, standing guard over your dreams, quietly nurturing your path to abundance, day by day, hour by hour. The moment you choose to prepare your own jar, you are declaring to the universe, I am ready to receive abundance. And from that moment on, the energy of opportunity, luck, and wealth begins to find its way to you. Go ahead and leave a comment below with a powerful affirmation like, I am unlocking the treasure of prosperity for myself. This is your key, your first step to activating a life of wealth, success, and fulfillment starting today.